Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we're going to talk about how we can take a mono guitar part and make it wide, make it full, make it a featured instrument in the mix. And really this works best for instruments that you want to be a feature, like maybe an electric guitar solo, but especially acoustic guitar. If you only have a very sparse mix with not a lot going on, and you want to feature the acoustic guitar part and not just have it be mono, this really does help open things up. If you imagine standing in front of a guitarist who's right-handed and you're facing them, you're going to hear out of different sides of the stereo image different stuff. On your right side, you're going to hear sort of the string noise, upper register stuff. On the left side, you're going to hear the kind of boominess of the bottom end of the guitar. And in the center is the main core of the signal. And we can create an effect like that by splitting a mono part into three different parts. First, let's just hear the mono acoustic guitar part. Here's what it sounds like, plain mono by itself. So we get the idea. Right at the middle, mono guitar part. The way we set this up is we take that mono guitar part and we send it to three different buses. And I name these acoustic left, acoustic right, and acoustic center. Then what we're going to do is make them pre-fader sends, pull that acoustic fader all the way down so we're not even hearing that core of the signal anymore. And on each one we insert an EQ. On the acoustic left channel, I've got the Presonus stock EQ here. We're going to do a low pass or high cut filter around 500 hertz. So all we're hearing on the left side is all the sub 500 hertz or so information, kind of that boominess body of the acoustic guitar part. We're also going to pan that channel 70 or so left. It could be more or less depending, and we'll work on that as we get the balance going. On the acoustic right channel that I'm sending to from the main channel, we have another EQ here, and we've got a high pass or low cut filter at about 1000 hertz or 1K. Both of these slopes, I should mention, are 24 dB per octave. They are steeper slopes than standard, so make sure you have a pretty high slope here. So letting through all the high information up here, think string noise, high shimmer on the guitar part on the right side. And since it's right, we're panning that about 70 right. And then we've got this acoustic center bus, where we're cutting out the bottom and top end. All that stuff that's being taken care of on the left side and right side buses, we're cutting out and leaving the center here. Again, 24 dB per octave. Here we have the low cut or high pass at 150 hertz and the high cut or low pass at 2.5K. And we can tweak those if we want to, but those are good starting points for working this out. So to build the balance, we're going to start with the left channel first, and I'll ride it up with the fader. It's all just body and boom here. Then we'll go to the right channel, pull it up, try to balance these two out. Move to the center channel, fill it in. So we get a much wider stereo image versus what we had in the original version here. So if I just solo up the original mono source, versus the wider 3-bus version. Bring up the center a little bit more. We can collapse the image if we want to. We can make it super wide if we want to. Just a little unnatural sounding. Now, if I put the bass part in with it, you'll really hear how it works as a solo feature instead of just being mono. So I'll go with the mono part first. Here's the mono guitar with bass. everything's just completely up the middle and very mono sounding. Now if we do that wider acoustic part with the bass, we get a much better picture of that stereo image. And it can be a little bit unnatural sounding, but you start putting other elements of the mix into it and it doesn't sound quite as unnatural anymore. Let me just really quick throw all the drums in as well. So of course we could play with balances and make it a little bit more narrow, wider, more natural sounding, really anything we want out of that. But it's a really easy way to get a mono part that needs to be featured to sound a little bit wider in the stereo image. Again, we just created 3 buses. So we had only the low information panned left, only the high information panned right, and right up the center is the core of the sound, cutting out all that top and bottom stuff, and we balance it to taste. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already, so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.